The 2023-24 NBA season has been great so far, with many players standing out with crazy performances and teams getting off to hot starts. Some teams like the Warriors, Nuggets, Celtics, Thunder, and many more are playing great to start the season, and many stars have already started their MVP campaign. One team that has surprised me is the Memphis Grizzlies, for all the wrong reasons. It's only been 5 games into the NBA season, and the Memphis Grizzlies haven't won a single game. They are the only team to not win a game this season. You may think it's not that bad, but the Wizards, Hornets, and the Blazers all won a game. The Blazers actually beat the Memphis Grizzlies a couple days ago. Regardless, they are 0-6 as of now, and they are bottom 10 in the league in points scored and points allowed. How can a team who was just a top 4 seed in back-to-back seasons become this bad this quick? Well, let's start with the obvious. They don't have their star guard, Ja Morant. Obviously, a player who averaged 26 points and 8 assists last year would help your bottom 10 offense. If you don't remember, Ja Morant showed a gun on his live in a strip club in Denver. He had an interview with Jalen Rose, and he was apologizing about the incident, and it looked genuine to the rest of the league. Then a few weeks later, he goes back on his live and shows a gun again. Ja Morant is only 6 games into his 25-game suspension, so the Grizzlies have a long way to go without him. But the Grizzlies not having Ja Morant isn't the only reason why they're struggling. After all, in the 2022 season, there was a huge stat that came out that basically said that the Grizzlies play better when Ja Morant sits than when he plays. But there's a reason why now that Ja Morant is out, they aren't winning games. For one, they traded one of the best backup point guards in the league. Tyus Jones was one of the league's best bench playmaking guards. He led the league in the highest assist-to-turnover ratio for 4 seasons in a row. He was a major reason why the Grizzlies won so many games when Ja Morant was out. But they traded him in a 3-team trade to bring Marcus Smart to Memphis. Marcus Smart is obviously better than Tyus Jones, but Jones would help this terrible Grizzlies offense for sure. Another major reason is the injuries they've had. Their injury report alone could make a starting lineup. As of right now, the Grizzlies are missing Derrick Rose, Santi Aldama, John Conchar, Ja Morant, Brandon Clark, and Steven Adams, all due to injury or suspension. Most of those injuries are minor, but not having Steven Adams or Brandon Clark takes a toll on your front court. Steven Adams is one of the league's best contracts, and he was one of the league's best rebounders. He averaged 5 offensive rebounds last season, and he was a reason why Jaren Jackson won DPOY last season. Brandon Clark was one of the league's best bench bigs, and his athletic ability, matched with his basketball knowledge, made him a great role player for the Grizzlies. Late last season, he tore his left Achilles and was out for the rest of last season and this season. Both of these major injuries, along with Ja Morant's suspension and the other minor injuries, add up to the Grizzlies being severely undermanned. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a Grizzlies fan, but I thought they would hover around 500 until Ja comes back. Then they'll start to win games and would be a top 6 seed by the end of the season. But after seeing what situations they're going through and the 0-6 record they have right now, our predictions look pretty bad. But I didn't truly see them losing games to some of the teams they've lost to. The Utah Jazz blew them out by 20 points, and they've lost to the tanking Wizards. I know the Pelicans and the Nuggets are good teams, but they could have beat some of the other teams. The Grizzlies are in a bad situation right now, but I don't expect for them to go 2-23 by the time Ja Morant comes back. However, when Ja does come back, they should get right to winning, and if they still suck, we should have some serious talks. We know the West standings is going to be a battle just like last season, so the Grizzlies will have to get some wins on the board to be in a good spot by the time Ja gets back. Could the Grizzlies win like 30 straight games and somehow get the first seed? No, but the NBA is a crazy league, and the perfect example of that is Victor Wembanyama. If you want to watch my video about him, click the link in the description.